At Home Point, we treat our realtors not just as colleagues, but as true partners. Every day, we focus on initiatives which help them build their business, because we're truly in this together. Welcome back for another edition of Realtor Spotlight. I'm very excited to have Sarah Santos and Marc Santos from Premier Properties at Keller Williams Leading Edge. First, Sarah, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And so I know you've been doing this for a little while.
Yeah.
What's your background that got you into real estate, and how do you feel about the industry now being in it for a while?
Sure. So actually I came out of the arena of medical device sales, but real estate's really been in my life since I was in a car seat. I used to ride around with my mom, who's a realtor, and every time she'd hit the brakes, I would say, not another house. So it's something that I've been around for quite a long time. We actually have 13 real estate agents, both either present or past realtors.
Wow, in the family.
In the family, yeah. So that's something that's sort of been ingrained in me for a long time. But truthfully, I got involved in real estate in 2012. Mm-hmm. It was after having 2 kids. I had my third on the way, and medical devices was it was too intense. There was far too much travel.
Yeah.
So I needed something to really bring me back home.
That's great. And I'm sure that experience with your family, with so many family members doing it, it gave you a glimpse inside, and also probably helps you along the way as you continue to grow.
Yeah, well, there was a certain level of comfort that I already had with it. And then secondly, the skill set that I developed, and I had world-class training in sales and strategy, all of that was transferable directly into real estate. You know, it brought me to the table with great negotiation skills. Mm-hmm. But then it added the component of, I was sort of in a frame of mind of family. So being able to now repeat that process with other people, it became something that not only can I use my skill set, but I can really get my heart and soul behind it.
Yeah. So Sarah, what's your experience been like with Keller Williams Leading Edge? It's in Cumberland. I know you've been with them since 2012 when you started. A lot of people talk very positively about Keller and their training. Do you feel that way?
I do. That was actually the primary reason that I went with Keller right from the beginning, was the training. Mm-hmm. And from there, we knew that as we grew, they had systems in places that would allow us to either become, a large-scale individual agent, or if we wanted to grow from a team of 5 to 20, there was a pathway for us to do that. Yeah. So that was amazing. What I didn't realize was the culture that was there. I have some of the best teammates, and I think some of the best realtors around me, which brings us all, it brings us all up within the industry. Yeah,
it's great to be part of a team that really reciprocates and helps each other grow.
Absolutely. We brainstorm all the time. We talk about deals, and at the end of the day, I think that gets us to the closing table more than anyone else.
I agree. So Sarah, I know you've been working with Rich Brandari's on the team. Yes. At Home Point. What's your experience been like working with him, and how do you guys help each other?
You know what, so it's really been amazing. So one of the things that I pride myself on within the sales process is making sure that the sale isn't just about closing the house. Mm-hmm. It's taking it one step further so that I understand, what does that mean when they buy that house? Because oftentimes someone is in a life transition. Yeah. They're recently married, they've had a baby, they're downsizing. So getting to the root of what this means, we're walking directly into the future for these people. Yeah. And to have to give up that major component of actually bringing this to the table through financing, I have to give up the second pillar of the entire sale. Mm-hmm. So knowing that Rich is going to take over and maintain those values, maintain contact, and bring the education and responsiveness that I have brought from the beginning, yeah. I think that's hugely important, so that it's a seamless transition and they feel as though we're on the same team.
Yeah, and I think also, I think a lot of people look at a transaction like this as just a transaction, but I think the people that are really good at what they do mm-hmm. on the realtor and finance side look at it more than a transaction. Look at it like that, where
Absolutely.
It's life changes, and people have kids and they're moving into different towns, different school systems.
Sure.
And I think I know that we share a passion with our realtors at Home Point, and obviously you share that with Rich as well. It's great.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I noticed that right out of the gate with Rich. He learned exactly who I was, what my business was about, what mm-hmm. I represent. And everyone who I've put in front of him from my clients has had the same experience.
It's great to hear.
Yeah.
So now I'm sitting here with Marc Santos. Marc, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So Marc, I know you got into real estate in 2012 as well, like Sarah. Mm-hmm. What was your background that led you into real estate, and do you think that probably helps you as you develop?
Absolutely. Sarah and I are a little bit unique from the standpoint of we both came from medical device sales. Mm-hmm. We were both promoted within that industry to regional managers. Sarah had a team under her as well. But where I think the skill set really helps us is we were trained in professional medical device sales. And so we were selling anywhere from inside the operating room, helping surgeons learn how to use the equipment, all the way up to the CEO level of a hospital, oftentimes selling equipment on the order of $2 million plus. And so now we take that experience and skill set and bring that to the real estate world, where we can now apply that, those fundamentals.
Yep.
Really ask the right questions of our customers.
Is that more on the negotiation side? Like
Absolutely,
mostly
yeah.
you think it helps? Which
Absolutely.
negotiation is paramount, right?
Yeah, and I think ultimately at the end of the day, it helps us better understand our clients, better understand the needs of the person on the other end of the table, craft an offer that helps us be more competitive, and also get our clients the best deal for them.
So Mark, there's a lot of properties people are buying, whether it's their first time home, their second home, they're downsizing, they're buying investment properties. I know that yourself and Sarah take a different approach so that you can really focus on what you're best at. So talk to me a little bit about the clients that you specifically work with, and Sarah.
Yes, so we specialize, and Sarah is our expert on single-family residential properties, and I focus on multifamily investment properties for our clients. And so I think that helps them because they know that they're getting an expert in one specific field. And for example, I know how to analyze a multifamily property all day long, because not only do I service only those types of clients, but we also own our own investment properties as well.
Yep.
And so we have the real world experience to help guide them through their investment property purchases, especially on the multifamily side.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when getting into investment, especially if it's new, they don't know exactly what the holding costs are, rent roll, and those are things that you have experience with that you can help them to make sure that they make the right decision, because there's a lot of property out there, multifamily, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right one for that person.
Exactly. One of the things I really pride myself with is making sure that that client buys an investment property correctly, so that 2 years down the road, they're not throwing their hands up saying, I can't afford to keep this house. And so there are a lot of hidden costs associated with owning multifamily properties. And we like to make sure that we're acknowledging what all those costs are. We're analyzing it to make sure that they're buying it at the right price so that they can keep that as long as they want to keep it.
And it's protecting the client, which is your job, right?
Exactly, yes.
Mark, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
Had a good time learning more about yourself and Sarah.
Definitely, we appreciate it.
And everybody, every other week, live from the Turks Head building, Home Point is featuring top real estate agents in Rhode Island and Mass. When it's your time to sell or your time to buy, you know who to call.